All right, Giants Nation. So I'm going to start a new series for replying to comments from our fan base. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this comment right here. And this guy says, what else do the Jones lovers need to see? 3 drives, 2 picks. I got a question for you guys that don't like Daniel Jones. It's okay to not like Daniel Jones or hate Daniel Jones. That is fine. I will never tell you that I think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback and that you should like Daniel Jones. That's really up to you whether you want to like or hate Daniel Jones. But what is the deal with this weird obsession with Daniel Jones and the people that like him? If somebody likes Daniel Jones, they like Daniel Jones. It doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, I don't think the Giants care whether we hate or like Daniel Jones. They don't care. They just do what they want to do. So I'm not saying like the fan base has made it known that they hate Daniel Jones and they still re-signed him, because I do feel like after that playoff win, he did have a majority of the fans saying, sure, it's fine to retain him. I don't think the amount of money that he got paid, fans agree with that, but that's not up to us. And I think people fail to understand, like, we are not in the driver's seat when it comes to this whole Daniel Jones thing. So I don't really know why we're obsessing with the common man that likes Daniel Jones, because y'all need to find new hobbies. I don't know why we stopped doing like proper hobbies like bird watching. Now we're fan watching. Like, what is this weird shit that we're doing where we're like, oh, the Daniel Jones lovers? Like, I've been on Twitter, I've seen it there, I've seen it on Reddit, I've seen it on the Facebook groups. I'm not sure about the Giants forum. I haven't been there in a while, but there's this weird, maybe they're all the same people, but you're weird if you have an obsession with Daniel Jones individual fans. Like, who cares about those guys? If somebody came up to me and they say, I love Daniel Jones, I'm just like, okay, like, big deal. You know what? You're a Giants fan. He's the QB1 for the Giants. That's fine. If you come up to me and you tell me you love Drew Lock or DeVito, I have no issue with that either. I don't think they're better than Daniel Jones, but at the same time, I don't think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. He can have a good game here and there, but I'm not making it seem like, Daniel Jones is the quarterback of the future. I think even the guys that like Daniel Jones understand that he is not the quarterback of the future. So it's like, what are we doing here when we're talking about Daniel Jones lover? Like, you guys need to find new hobbies. Stop fan watching, dog. Go back to bird watching. Now, this next take is probably one of the worst takes that you can possibly have. This is not the first time I've seen somebody try to cast injury on my boy Malik Nabers. If the quarterbacks behind Daniel Jones are worse than Daniel Jones, which they are by every metrics, you can't sit down and say DeVito's better because he played with Saquon Barkley last season. You can't use that and say, oh, well, he won games last year because he won games because of Saquon Barkley. So with that said, though, from what I've seen from DeVito so far in preseason, which was nothing, there's no reason to say DeVito's better. So if you're saying that Daniel Jones is going to get Malik Nabers injured, then any of the other quarterbacks can also get him injured. So why are we putting Nabers in the injury? Like, let's not even speak it into existence. But I've been seeing that from these dusty Giants fans who are obsessed with not liking Daniel Jones to the point where they feel like they need to pin a future injury on Malik Nabers so they can say Daniel Jones did it. Like, don't do that. Don't ever put Malik Nabers' name and injury in the same sentence, or hurt. Like, that is such a dirty thing to do as a New York Giant. I'm going to call you a dusty New York Giants fan when you say stuff like this. He's going to get him hurt. Like, why would you even speak that into existence? So this next fan says, these idiots don't know what it takes to come back from an ACL, and Jones has a new offensive line, new receivers, new offensive plays, and playing in a real game. It's remarkable that Jones is playing. I thought our offensive line looked good against the Houston first and second stringers. Well, here's the truth about this situation. The pick six that Daniel Jones threw wasn't because of his ACL. That was just poor decision making on his part, and I think that's what the guys who don't like Daniel Jones are really harping on. Some people are even upset about the would-be interception that one of the DBs didn't catch. And I've seen some Giants fans who actually know what they're talking about break down that play, and they were saying that in the future Malik probably needs to seal that DB, because yes, Daniel Jones probably shouldn't have thrown that pass, but there's things you can do as a wide receiver too. Now, the one to Jalen Hyatt, the interception, I don't know if I'm mad at Daniel Jones for throwing that ball. I mean, it looked like he probably could have threw it a little bit further, but I think Daniel Jones has been throwing some shorties, and that could be due to his ACL recovery. But he's going to have to fix that ASAP, because when the regular season starts, we're going to be complaining for sure, regardless of how you feel about Daniel Jones. You're going to be saying, hey, man, I get that you're recovering from an ACL and you came back faster than expected, because when he got hurt, a lot of people that didn't like Daniel Jones didn't expect him to be back for training camp. And they were saying that's why we need to draft a quarterback. And so these same guys that are not giving Daniel Jones grace, they themselves didn't expect him to be back. So, you have a point that he's coming back from the ACL tear, but that doesn't mean that you could make stupid decisions, though. Like, there's some decision-making stuff that Daniel Jones isn't doing properly, whether it's what people's been saying for years, that he's not progressing on his reads or he's staring down his wide receivers. For me, I'm seeing a lot of short throws. Like, even if the throw is good, it's like if the wide receiver has to wait for the ball, then that means that you probably could have thrown the ball a little bit further. Like, even on the Slayton catch, he had to wait. Like, he had to slow down, and it was a great catch by him and an okay throw by Daniel Jones. But if he continues to throw those short balls, they're going to get picked off. And I want to see Daniel Jones throw down the field this year. I don't want to see him throwing to the running back. Like, I want the ball to go downfield, and it may lead to some interceptions, and that's fine. That's what you want to see, whether you like or hate Daniel Jones. You want to see him throw the ball downfield. And hey, if he plays bad and you don't like him, then that's awesome for you guys. I don't know what's up with some of you guys that want to replace Daniel Jones, but you don't want him to stay out there, play bad, and help you replace him. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But, I don't think you can use the ACL tear and his recovery and him coming back so fast and give him grace in his 6th year. That seems ridiculous. Like, all of his issues isn't due to his ACL. It's literally his brain.